And welcome back. This is AC taking you through Divinity, Original Sin. And we're still inside Seal Town. Hopefully going to wrap some story quests up here now. We're going to get the elf arrested. And here, near the headquarters, is a secret chest. And if you remember, in the end of time, we found a chest that asked for 4. We find 4 clues to open the end of time chest. So here's the first clue. And basically, a full moon. This is a clue to the number. A full moon, a wedding ring, a wide eye, which is 0. So let's get a few things from here.
That's it, troops. Train up while you can. Land at any moment.
Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, joyous hour.
There's someone you should arrest.
Whom would you have the Legion arrest?
Eglander.
The elf. What in the name of Ahu's arse should I arrest him for?
He wants to kill Victoria.
He wants us to kill Victoria.
It's true. He is a dangerous lunatic and needs to be incarcerated.
So, he wants you to kill that savage the mayor calls his daughter, does he? Hardly seems a crime to do so. But I guess I cannot allow assassinations to take place. I won't arrest him unless I have some actual evidence, though. Or did you think I'd simply take your word for fact? As I suspected.
So we don't have proof. So I guess we have to pickpocket him, maybe. So let's quickly talk to Ahu again. So now we've joined the Fabulous 5. He will give us something. I don't want to talk to you.
Startled me out of my boot.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
And questions about Sicil.
And what might those be?
Failed. Someone mentioned one of your failed experiments.
One of them failed? Who is the mongrel that dares to question my engineering expertise? I take it the mutt in question was referring to the Sparkmaster 5000. It isn't failing, it just became... well, it became self-aware. Frightfully annoying when that happens. You know what? Here's the remote access device with which I used to control it. There's a manual for that somewhere around here, too. Yours, if you can find it. I really should invite Victoria one of these days, so she can help me organize my mess of a library.
So we've got the device. Let's find the manual. I think we might have picked it up already. Here it is.
Fortune!
So with the device we can control that boss later on. You have to be quite close for it to work though, so I don't tend to use it often. Okay. So let's pick up another side quest. We need this one before we leave Sicil.
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes if ever there was one.
I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help as well. We've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success.
So, whom do I have the honour of speaking?
Lieutenant Selenia at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second-in-command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards source hunters than he is. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition, and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, source hunter. A gift and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself can make a true difference in this troubled part of the world. Such is my honest conviction.
Let's talk about some matters concerning the Legion.
I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you.
There's some sailors looking for work. Perhaps there's a place for them in the Legion?
It's very sweet of you that you are trying to get these men a job, but I'm afraid they're not Legion material. Sure, they can tie a knot and blow a whistle like the best of them, but even with a sword in their hands, they wouldn't stand a chance against the undead, and I don't want any more blood on my hands.
Let's discuss the expedition into hostile territory you mentioned.
If ever we want to be victorious in Sicil, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the Pact of Volunteers, 3 expeditions were launched to do just that, but so far, none of their participants have returned. 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation: the lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. Places fraught with danger all.
So how about the lighthouse?
There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for their safety.
How about the burial mounds?
There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them.
And how about the church?
There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the 7 instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods over evil sorcery. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. Hence the expedition.
You mentioned you made a pact with your legionnaires?
So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer, and if they are successful, they just bought themselves a boat ride home.
And let's leave.
That doesn't belong to us, you know.
You're right. It doesn't.
Happens to the best of them.
Must have stole something. So next we want to... We could continue the main story.
Cold drink. I could do with a cold drink.
So if you remember, we stole
Did it sprout legs and run away?
We stole some smelly clothes from Evelyn, the medicine apprentice. Let's give that to the dog and see what he thinks.
Wow, that dead sheep smells pretty great. I mean, wow. But it's nothing compared to Jake. Seems like some mutt is marking my territory.
About your master's death.
If I ever find out who killed Jake, the most awesome Jake who ever jaked, I'll bark so much. Fearing to join you. No, without my best friend.
I want him to smell.
Jake Emma, here to protect me. I'd rather stay far away. Just bring those smelly items to me here. Esmeralda.
We've read this. Here we go.
I know it anywhere. Did you find Evelyn? I always thought her stink was a pretty good stink. Let me give that a sniff. This smells awesome. Too awesome. This has Jake's scent all over it.
Interesting. So she seems to be the prime suspect now.
Where are you, Jake?
These are the side quests we just spoke to the Legionnaire about.
Rest in peace, darling.
And now we should question Evelyn again, because it seems like she was there.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
And where is she?
To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter?
Let's discuss Evelyn.
Far be it from her to tell her master what in the seven's name she's up to. The girl flew from here like she just heard the location of the Philosopher's Stone. She even left her pouch unattended in the next room. Most unlike her, to be sure.
What about her pouch?
She usually keeps it within sight at all times. Very strange she'd leave it behind. It's in the next room if you'd like to take a look.
Where do you think she's run off to?
I'd try her house for starters. It's not far from here. I'll mark the location on your map.
So she knows she's been found out and she's run away. Let's check her bag. So we have her house key. Let's check her house.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scratch.
So what's she hiding? A reveal spell. And a diary.
So, she's got a lair on the beach, does she?
Perhaps that's where she stashed Jake's body.
Just gives us some recipes. What's this one? Oh, that's the manual. This is Reginald's diary. I think we read that. A letter from the conduit. Evelyn. So it seems she's part of the Immaculates or the cult. what's that? Secure lockbox? Where was that? Here. Can we open? Lock level 1. We really need some lock picking skills. Let's see if we can buy some accessory with lock picking.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Nothing here. Maybe the king's crab.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and stir.
Oh, come, darling, don't dither. You must speak with Mendius and join the Fabulous Five immediately. I so long for us to realize our true potential, side by side, spirit by spirit, heart by heart.
No lock picking there.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
The items that are sold are randomly generated to a certain extent. I think they change when you level up, or there's another way they change as well.
How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer.
I need lock picking. You don't have it.
By the filed teeth of Sulumar's soul shredder.
Maybe.
The end is nigh. Death comes a creeping for you, Victoria!
Oh, we have a level 1 lock picking. So why doesn't he do that then? Or maybe we didn't. I tried with Scarlet, didn't I? Not Roderick.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Nice, some equipment. And that's all in here, I think. So we need to find Evelyn then. There's one more thing we can do. Go to the mortician's morgue and talk about the sheep's body. Because it must have been him that put it there. So, he has any information? And we can steal from his house as well.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death?
About Jake's murder.
Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many laid low by the orcs and such like. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace.
Well, about that.
A sheep? That's a whole heap of nonsense. Don't bother me with such wild tales.
I think you're lying. And hopefully we can win this. Let's intimidate. Oh, it's down to the wire. So he chose scissors and I chose paper. So he think I'll take rock next. So I want to change to scissors. Sometimes that works.
There's no need for all that then. I'll tell you this, I buried that blasted sheep. But I swear on my lucky left foot I had nothing to do with that body disappearing. 1 minute it was on my slab, you see. I left the room for just a moment to answer the bell in the front parlour, and when I returned, the body was simply gone. In its place was a sack containing more gold coins than I could even count. The message was clear. Silence is golden. My business has been declining right alongside the rest of our blighted city. And that sack of gold was worth more than I made during one of the good years. I needed cash, and someone needed my silence. I knew I had to bury something or risk being found out. So that night, I stole into the market and made off with Bertia's fattest sheep. It was a bloody waste to stick so much fine meat into the ground to rot, but it had to be done. The next day, the pallbearers retrieved Jake's coffin, sealed to hide the body's terrible wounds, none the wiser that within the casket lay nothing more venerable than a slaughtered beast. Now, you can imagine I've spent more than my share of restless nights wondering who could have wanted that cadaver and for what purpose. I'm not an inch closer to imagining the why. I've got a few inklings as to the who. Near as I can reckon, there are only 4 people who could have been involved. Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, Theleron's apprentice Evelyn, and Esmeralda.
Well, we've already found out now Evelyn was the one. So you could have spoke to him before we found that out. So we'll change the subject. And how about the gold?
That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it.
Surely Berta, whose sheep you stole, deserves this money more than anyone. Let's see if we can win a second time. It's not too important if we win or lose this. We can steal from him anyway.
Look, there's no need for all that. Take the gold then, and we'll call the rest even, okay?
Thank you.
The dead man is nervous as a squirrel. I'm certain he's hiding something.
She said it, not me.
So let's steal from this guy while we're here. Old Roderick can be the man. What's in here? Nice. Take that. Some dexterity.
It's locked.
Can we picklock it? Level 3. I think there's a key somewhere here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did we get caught? No. Where is that key? I'm worried where the key is and we get caught. Must have... I think we picked it up, okay. Charisma helps you, sort of gives you a little bit of an idea for the rock, paper, scissors. Gives you a little bit of an advantage, but still doesn't help too much. And also it helps with buying and selling. So we'll give that to Scarlet, I think. And we'll give the dexterity to Roderick. And initiative let's turn him around if we can. Arrow shaft, let's go downstairs. I think sneaking when you're not around people doesn't really matter, but I like to do it just in case. Nine-inch nails you can craft for lockpicks. So he just talks about what he told us, the body vanishing. And just
looks like the mortician has reason to suspect Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, Evelyn, and Esmeralda of something.
And confirms that he actually did put the sheep in the coffin. Oh, that's a lucky find. Nice. Okay, I think we're done here. So everyone can come down. So he put the sheep there. So guys, I think we'll leave it there. So now we've found out the person involved with Jake's murder. And we have a few more things to wrap up in town first before we start leaving and exploring outside of Cecil and finding Evelyn. But thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the like button and possibly subscribe if you'd like to help the channel grow. But other than that, thanks for watching and see you soon.